أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله سيد المرسلين وخاتم النبيين ورحمة للعالمين وصلى الله على آله الطاهرين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا أوصيكم عباد الله ونفسي بتقوى الله. This is the week of the birth anniversary of the Prophet of Islam and our Sixth Imam, who was the main promoter of the Shi'i fiqh. Salawatullah alayhim ajma'in. It's important to realize that both had this famous title of aṣ-Ṣādiq. The Prophet even before Islam and the Sixth Imam, with his name you always have Ja'far aṣ-Ṣādiq there as a title, which means the person who is truthful. In Surah Baqarah, ayat number 77, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a way has summarized the teachings of Islam, beginning with the Iman, and then he comes to the essential, actions and rituals. And at the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about 3 ethical or moral teachings at the end, beginning by the words وَالْمَوْفُونَ بِأَحْدِهِمْ إِذَا آحَدُوا وَالصَّابِرِينَ فِي الْبَأْسَاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ وَحِينَ الْبَعْثِ أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُتَّقُونَ. Talking about the 3 core elements of ethics and morality, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala singles out first one, that the true believers are those who fulfill their promise when they make a promise or when they make an agreement with anyone. وَالصَّابِرِينَ. Number 2, those who are patient, those who exercise sabr, fil ba'sa, in financial stress, وَالضَّرَّاء, which means when they are in the physical stress, and وَحِينَ الْبَعْثِ, and also in the heat of the battle. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا. These are the people who speak the truth, and they are the one who are true muttaqeen. Now, one of the teachings that we see again and again in Islam and even in the Sūrah of the Prophet is the issue of respecting the agreements that you have with others. And when we talk about here, we're referring to the agreements with those who are enemies. And this is something we have to keep in mind, that in Surah Tawbah, which is the last surah to be revealed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is an interesting surah where it doesn't have Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Because right in the beginning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the violation of the peace agreement done by the Prophet of Islam with the mushrikeen of Mecca. And this was for 10 years term. But soon the mushrikeen of Mecca violated that. And the violation was that the agreement said that those who are aligned to Mecca, they are covered by this agreement, and those who are aligned to the Muslims, other tribes who might not be even a Muslim, but they are aligned with them, they also are covered by that treaty. And 2 tribes fought against one another. One was an ally of the Meccans, and the other was the allies of the Muslims. And the aggressor was the one who was the ally of the Meccans. And so the Prophet basically sent a message to Abu Sufyan and the leaders in Mecca that this is a violation by your ally against our ally. And therefore, you either deal with them yourself or allow us to deal with them. And the people of Mecca, they said, they still didn't realize, that the Muslim Ummah had become, gradually powerful. They just ignored it. And this is where the Prophet basically with a force of 10,000 well-organized and armed, soldiers marched towards Mecca. And this is what is known as Fath Mecca, where he was able to take over the city without warfare or bloodshed at that time. And with that, the announcement came that the agreement now has been violated by you, and so it's over. And so this issue of bara'at, repudiation of that agreement, this is where the surah starts with the words, bara'atun min Allahi wa rasulihi ila alladhina ahadtum min al-mushrikeen. That, O Muslims, this is an expression of repudiation from Allah and His Messenger to those idolaters of Mecca with whom you made an agreement. So you had an agreement with them, but they violated, and so this is the end of it. And so after that, the command comes in the second ayat of Surah Tawbah, وَسِيحُ فِي الْأَرْضِ أَرْبَعَةَ أَشْهُرٍ. I'll just side comment here that the mushrikeen of Mecca were told, now Mecca is declared as a sacred territory. You have 4 months to reflect. You stay here, or you go around, meet people, reflect on Islam. If you agree, then you are here. If not, Mecca is no more a place for non-Muslims. This is very interesting because you realize now he is powerful, militarily, but he's not imposing his faith on them. He's giving them 4 months to research, study, go and talk to the Muslims, go and meet Rasulullah. And if you agree, that's fine. And so this whole propaganda that Islam was, sprayed in Arabia by sword, this is one example of it. That the Prophet actually, according to the ayat of Qur'an, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving them, 4 months time period. And then later on, at the end, Surah ayat number 4, this 4-month term is for the mushrikeen of Mecca. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ أَحَدتُّم مِّنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ, except those tribes, even outside Mecca, with whom you had longer, agreement. That agreement still stays. ثُمَّ لَمْ يَنْقُصُوكُمْ شَيْئًا وَلَمْ يُظَاهِرُ عَلَيْكُمْ. Other tribes who are not Muslims, who had signed agreements with you, that those agreements stand, provided they have not fought against you or conspired with others against you. They have been abiding by the agreement, that stays. فَأَتِمُّوا إِلَيْهِمْ عَهْدَهُمْ إِلَى مُدَّتِهِمْ. And therefore, fulfill their agreement till the end of their term. And this is a very clear statement in the Qur'an itself, which shows that, Islam gives importance to this issue of, respecting the agreements. And this is where we talk about this issue of, Sidq, as well as when we say that the Prophet was Ameen. He respects the rights of other people in that way. And even the statement that we see in this standing instructions given by the Prophet as well as Amir al-Mu'mineen during his time to the Muslim armies was that, do not violate the agreements. Do not be ghaddar. Do not betray. Once the agreements have been, agreed by the two parties, you have to stand by it. And this is one of the important things that we see not only respected by Islam, but also in general. The expectation is, internationally, that once the agreements are signed, you have to, respect it and stand by it. And so this is one important element of, the Sīrah from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. إن أحسن الحديث كتاب الله العزيز بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحليم الكريم غافر الذنب وقابل التوب وهو الغفور الرحيم ونشهد أن لا إله إلا هو العطوف للعباد بجوده والعواد على المذنبين بحلمه ونشهد أن محمدا نبيه وحبيبه سيد المرسلين والشفيع المذنبين ورحمة للعالمين وصلى الله عليه وعلى آله الداعين إلى سبيل الله بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة قادة الأمم وأولياء النعمة ومعدن الرحمة أوصيكم عباد الله بالتوبة عما سلف من ذنوبكم. One of the statements that I remember in Kufa, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam, sometimes people would be kind of what we call it in Urdu or even Farsi, we say, there are some people who go more with Josh and less with Hosh. They are more passionate, but they are not that wise. And this is where there have been incidents where especially in battleground where the hostility has not yet started. There will be people from the Muslim side who will refer to Rasul or the Imam and say, this fellow is close. He's reachable by my arrow. Should I just? And he's a senior officer. And they were told, no. This is not the conduct that we have. We have to follow the protocol. Once Amir al-Mu'mineen was kind of advised by a companion that why do you do this and that? And Ali alayhi salam said, if I wanted to act like Muawiyah, I'm paraphrasing this statement, I could have done quite a lot. But that is the difference between me and him. That I go according to the principles and values. I don't go around, just looking at the objective and the means. Even the means to reach to that objective has to be legitimate. And that is the issue. Sometimes they have this whole discussion. Was Ali a successful politician or not? Well, it depends from which perspective you are looking at it. If you're looking at the siyasat Umawi, Umayyad politics, always, going around, cutting corners, violating the agreements. Yes. But that is not the standard that we have. We follow what is known as siyasat alawi, where you might lose power, but you will not violate the principles that you believe in. And this is something we have to keep that all the time in our life, on a personal level, on a community level. And so, this basically brings me to this current situation that we see in the Middle East. The Israeli attack in Doha, which basically exposed the Israel's, this charade that they have that, oh, we are committed to international laws. Because international laws very clearly say that you cannot attack the representatives of your enemies. When they come and meet you, even face to face, or when they are in the state of negotiating with you, whatever the process is. And this is where, the exposure has been there, but this is becoming more, open and clear that even the friends cannot anymore, run behind other different, justifications. Even our Prime Minister, Mark Carney, describes that strike by Israel on Doha as intolerable expansion of violence and an affront to Qatar's sovereignty. Regardless of their objectives, such attacks pose a grave risk to escalating conflict throughout the region. And, and our foreign minister, Anand, she is saying that we are evaluating our relationship with Israel. While the government is still thinking about it, I don't know how long it will take for them. We should do our part in that process by keeping the pressure on Canadian government. And I will refer to you very easily. Go to the website of NCCM, and you will see the role that you can play either by calling the MP. They even have a script of what you will be saying, or just emailing that to your MP. And this is where the pressure has to be there from the people on the ground to the government, that you cannot just be silent on this issue. Even the irony is that the United Nations Security Council condemned the strike on the residential compound in the Qatari, capital, where it was supposed to be targeting senior members of Hamas. The irony is that, on one hand, all 15 Security Council members, including US, have backed that statement. But it doesn't say who did that. The name, of the country has been not been mentioned there. That, we support the sovereignty of Qatar, and this is not right. According to the Algerian ambassador there, that Security Council remained constrained, as it was unable even to name the aggressor, to qualify aggression as a violation of international law. And this is where Muslims and Arabs, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them aql. They have money, but it's of you not used unless if you look at things in a very penetrating manner. Look at the end result of what you are going to do. Just think about it. US has the largest air force in Qatar. And they have all these equipments. I'm sure to protect themselves. They have the radars there also. And so the American radars couldn't detect American-made fighter jets coming to that region, that country. And this is where, the Arabs have to open their eyes and see, maybe Israel and US are playing their game. Good cop and bad cop. One does the bad and they say, I didn't know about it. And I feel sorry for what happened to you. Well, this is, and the timing, it looks like things are always done according to the timetable of US, but it's done by somebody else. And this is where, the irony of the Muslim countries there. I made a comment in Miladun Nabi, in the Urdu part at the end, where I said that, you ending up giving a 400 million gift, and still you are being hit. Just think about it. What's going on? And this is where, We cannot complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has given us the resources, He has given us the money, He has given us the numbers. It's just the vision and what is the purpose of the ummah collectively which is missing. And so the blame cannot go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The blame goes to the ummah itself. If they follow Muhammad and Ali Muhammad, inshallah the tawfiq. The tawfiq would be there from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me just conclude with a statement by a very large number of foreign officers and diplomats of the European Union that written a letter to the European Union, and they look at the statement: we cannot stand idly by watching Gaza reduced to rubble and its inhabitants to destitution and starvation. The issue is whether the EU and the like-minded nations are going to stand up for basic humanity and for the values that underpin the post-war international order. So we are reaching to this phase that we are saying, at least maintain basic humanity. I go back to the words of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. In Karbala, when he was alone at the end and attacked by the Yazidi forces, this is where he uttered those words that, maintain your freedom as human beings, as Arabs. Come and fight me as long as I'm alive. Don't go towards the tents of my women and children. That's the basic humanity that we are talking about. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasten the appearance of the Imam of the time, Ajjalallahu ta'ala for Al Sharif, inshallah. اللهم صل على سيد المرسلين وشفيع المذنبين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وعلى إمام المتقين وأمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب صلوات الله عليه وعلى سيدة نساء العالمين سيدتنا فاطمة بنت رسول الله صلوات الله عليها وعلى سيد الشباب أهل الجنة الحسن المجتبى والحسين الشهيد بكربلاء عليهم الصلاة والسلام اللهم صل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي عليهم الصلاة والسلام اللهم صل على مولانا الحجة الحسن ابن الحسن صاحب العصر والزمان ماحي آثار البدء وطغيان هادم أبنية الشرك والنفاق حاسد فر البغي والشقاق صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آبائه الكرام ما اتصلت الليالي والأيام اللهم عجل فرج وسهل مخرجه واكحل ناظرنا بنظرة منا إليه واجعلنا من المستشهدين بين يديه اللهم اجعلنا ممن يذكر فتنفعه الذكرى إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون